Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week in interview with your host and guide, Anthony Drago. It's a pleasure to be here with you one more time on a Wednesday night. As usual, you know that Wednesday is, in fact, the highlight of my life, definitely, or my week, I should say. I always look forward to that time, and as folks that know me really well know that sometimes I can, my more common manifestation is introverted. And so this weekend interview brings me out of that. And because of that, I have such a benefit to have conversations with experienced folks, interesting folks, folks who have achieved so much. And I have the pleasure of sharing those conversations with you. So grab a chair, invite someone to tune into the program with you, and we're going to have a really wonderful conversation tonight. We're going to talk about something that holds promise and hope for Dominicans, the average Dominican. And so tonight is another installment of our Green MAGA series, our Green Make Agriculture Great Again series, with my good friend, Pastor Adrian Banis. If you're in Dominica and you haven't gone to Castle Bruce to visit Barney's farms, you are missing out. You should organize to go to Castle Bruce to visit his farms. He's doing wonderful stuff, and not just spectacular things, but practical and durable. I saw a video that showed that in the recent rains, a good portion of his farm was flooded, but then days after that, the recovery of his farm was remarkable. And we know of his agro-tourism, we know of the training that he's doing on his farm. He's just doing a lot of wonderful things. But tonight on Green Maga, we are going to talk about marketing and the prospects of marketing that will be available or is available to producers in Dominica, not just farmers, but for people who make things to sell. And Adrienne is bringing a guest with him, and she has been making wonderful strides in terms of getting Dominican products outside of Dominica to us outside who are nostalgic and who need all of those good, healthy Dominican products. So I'm not going to take much more time in introducing, except to welcome those of you who are listening to us on RVR Jams channel 59, in Dominica, DG Play channel 59, and Radio SBE in the Toronto market. Also TGM Radio of our brother Angelo Allen. All of those guys, the stations carry this week in interview live, and there are some others that carry it after the fact as a replay. Also, if you're viewing us on Facebook or YouTube or any one of those media platforms where you can subscribe, I encourage you to subscribe to TDN. I encourage you to like the program and share, comment, participate. I'm anticipating that we're going to have a lot of participation from you tonight because we're going to talk about marketing. Marketing. So without much further ado, let's bring the guests up on stage. Pastor Adrian Banis and Miss Petra Carbon George. Welcome to this week in interview. Adrian, you hear all the time, but Miss Carbon has only is George. Mrs. George has only been on here one time before. So a warmer, not really warmer. Both of you guys are warmly welcome, but a hearty welcome back, Petra. It's great to have you.
It's always great. Good night, good night. It's always great to be part of the program, to enlighten Dominicans on better pathway, and it's always a pleasure to be there.
Awesome, awesome. I remember we had you on before, and we were talking about what you were doing in terms of getting Dominican produce into the U.S. Virgin Islands. And apparently, this has been going well because we have great news that you are expanding the operations, which we'll talk about a little further in the program. But let me not let my brothers wait too long and welcome Pastor Banis. Welcome, Adrian, back to this weekend interview. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, man. Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you very much. You are my host for the past months, and I think we have been doing very well. Remember the tradition that says woman first, right? That's the
they
ladies
also
first.
they also say beauty before age, right?
Well, it's really a pleasure to be on the program once again. It's nice to see Sister Petra Carbon George, and I am really, really impressed with what she's doing. She's a real innovative person. She's a real entrepreneur. You know, me, I have a thing for entrepreneur. Now, I don't use the word meaning, a definition for entrepreneur. An
Hmm.
entrepreneur is one, if you are listening to me, write it down. An entrepreneur is one who do not give up when things go rough or when things get tight, but we always come up with something new that we can enter the market or do whatever we are doing. We are coming up with something new to ensure that we remain relevant on the market. A businessman is one. When things go bad, he disappears. Always take note of that. He disappears, close up
so,
shop.
so you're
But
making a
entrepreneurs
distinction between
never
a
close up shop.
businessman and an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the difference.
Mm, mm. It's so funny. This morning, when I was in the shower, I was thinking about today's program. In my mind, I was saying, what's an entrepreneur? And in my mind, I'm serious. I said an entrepreneur is somebody who is brave enough to depend on his own skills to feed himself, he or herself, and her family.
Right. That's another
Right?
great one. So we can put all that together and
Because sometimes it's scary.
start our book.
Um, yeah, yeah, because they
No,
taught
I
us to
am
go to
documenting
school,
now.
get
What
a
I'm doing is
job.
documenting to write.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the thought that came to my mind. An entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is somebody who has the guts to jump in, knowing that you can only depend on yourself to feed yourself. And if you're married, to
Yep.
feed your family, you know, and also to help people around you to grab your dreams. You're depending on your pure skills and perseverance. Because if you have a job, you don't feel like going to work, you can call and say, I have a headache, I'm not coming in today.
That's right.
but
Yeah.
but when Petra has to go to the airport or whatever she has to do the paperwork because there's a plane coming landing at 10 o'clock, it doesn't matter what pain she has, she has to do what is
Listen,
what's there for her to do.
midnight I have to stay up and do the paperwork because it need to get done.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So both of those definition, yours, Pastor Banis, and the one that I came up with, I was just laughing when I hear you say that you have a definition for entrepreneur. Um, but we're talking marketing. Marketing is the Achilles heels of agriculture in Dominica. Uh, you know, the 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 survival of agriculture as our main economic mainstay has risen and fallen on marketing. We had our best years when the banana industry was thriving, but it was thriving because we had a straw market in the UK and the United Kingdom. So we know all we were confident if we grew bananas and we treated it well and we brought it to the port, somebody was going to buy it from us because there was a market in the UK for it. I remember as a young child, somebody said they got markets for ginger, and a lot of farmers went in and bought ginger, planted ginger, I mean. And then whatever happened, the market fell through. And I still remember seeing piles and piles of ginger all over Castleberry just growing on its
Yeah.
own because the market fell apart. I don't know if you remember that, Adrian, that would have been in the 70s, maybe
Yeah.
70s, early 80s. And just
That time
last
was
weekend,
that time was
go
the
ahead.
cooperative
Yeah,
that
it
had the
was.
what's their name? Martin Cooperative that had the ginger.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah. I don't
Farmers
remember.
Cooperative.
I don't
Farmers
remember all the
Cooperative.
details of Farmers Cooperative. I don't remember all the details, but I remember a lot of people planted ginger and then they
What was the
harvested the ginger.
cooperative?
and it just piled on the side of the road
Yeah,
and just grew
inside a shelf.
into like a ginger bush all where you pass because the market fell apart. Um, just last week, I saw Dr. Thompson Fontaine show photos of eggplants harvested and just laying by the side of the road to rot because something fell apart in terms of the marketing. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about how can we make sure that farmers are confident enough to plant. Because apart from feeding yourselves, if you want to make your livelihood, you want to know you can sell. And so that confidence has to happen 9 months, 12 months, 3 years, whatever, depending on the type of crop that you're growing. That you're going to invest in that, and when it comes through, it will ripe. At the same time, the person like Miss Carbon, who is organizing the market and going about and making promises to supermarkets and housewives and people who are on the other end who's going to buy the product. She's making promises to them. She's putting her reputation on the line and saying, listen, in June, I'm going to bring up 100 pounds of dashing.
Mm.
And then when I bring it up
Oh,
in June, I will have another 100 pounds every month after that. So she is now investing her reputation and her confidence that the farmers in Dominica who say that they can grow dashing are going to keep their word. And of course, you have little monkey wrenches that falls in the work. For example, a farmer might promise a dash and he might plant dash in, but when he start to harvest, a huckster come by and offer him $1 more per pound, and he say, you know what? Let me sell to that huckster because I'm making more money. And then she comes to the farmer, and the farmer says, if he's honest, he'll tell her what he do. If he's not honest, he'll say, well, you know what? The dashing spoil or whatever it is. But then next year he goes and plants more dashing, and the huckster doesn't show up next year, and he's coming to Miss Carbon. I have a lot of dashing in the field.
I
Can
know.
you buy it from me? And she says, well, the people that were going to buy it from me, I no longer have that market because I was unreliable last year. So though that's what we're going to discuss tonight. How do we get all of those moving parts together so that they can work as a well-oiled system so that the farmers can plant with confidence, so that the marketers can move and make deals and contracts with confidence. And at the end of the day, all of us realize the fruits of our entrepreneurship. We can feed our families and we can stick around. And after we get a storm, we don't disappear like a businessman, but we go back and we replant and and so, Adrian, I'm going to start with you. And I'm going to ask you about, as a farmer, and not just a farmer, someone who does agro processing. What are some of the major challenges that you and maybe not you because you're quite innovative, but you see people around you are facing that would be alleviated if we had proper marketing organized? Adrian, can you hear me? I don't know if he's stuck. All right. Since Adrian seems to be having a little bit of technical difficulty, Petra, I'm going to ask you. Now you've been taking produce from Dominica to U.S. Virgin Islands for the last couple of years. What are some of your major challenges that you've encountered?
I'm glad you asked that because right about now I am encountering one of
Some
the
days I'm going
greatest
to ask tonight,
challenges.
man.
Um, because the supermarkets order 7,000 pound of dashing, and Dominica does not have dashing, so it's a challenge to get the 7,000 pound of dashing for next week Tuesday to bring up to the supermarket. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so I have to try to figure out. I'm still trying to call all farmers I know to try to put it together, but everybody tell me like around this time it doesn't really have dashing because it's cowing time and they have to start planting over. So this is one of the challenges that we need to stop growing in Dominica seasonal. I
Hmm.
keep telling the farmers that all the time because once we let go of the market, it is hard to come back
To
into the
get it
market.
back. Mhm.
The supermarket wants you to be, as you say, reliable. They rely on you because the dashing does a lot for them. It brings in a lot of customers. The St. Lucians are here, the Grenadines are here, Kittitians are here, and they love our Dominican dashing. And once we bring it up, the supermarket is filled. Because people come to get the dashing, and obviously while they're there, they get something else.
Mm-hmm.
So the supermarkets are very happy when we bring the dashing. So last week they've been calling me, when are you bring the next? And I tell them, well, Friday, I'll bring it on Friday. But then it was a challenge to get the dashing. So I extended to next week to see if I can get my 7,000 pounds of dashing. And it's still a challenge. And if I so then again, and for me, as you say, is my reputation on the line, because I have to keep my word to the supermarket, because they rely on me, because they used to take the one in Costa Rica,
Mm-hmm.
and then they reduce the amount because the people don't really like the one from Costa Rica. They prefer the one from Dominica. So they
Dominica.
really rely on me heavily to get that for them, at least twice a month, to the supermarket. So that is the
Wow.
challenge I have. So seasonal in Dominica. That's it. Same for peppers sometimes, same for cucumbers. And as you know, right now I'm trying to introduce our value-added products on the shelves. And it's a challenge again, because you have everybody doing the little things, and they're not even really making a lot. So some person might make 20 things of cocoa sticks. Somebody might have 10 bottles of coconut oil that they want to sell. It's not something that you can really rely heavily on to say, yes, you have the consistency of getting the product. So, but that's how it is. And we just have to do what we have to do to make sure both parties are happy. Myself, the farmers, and the supermarkets are happy.
Happy. Wow. Adrian, you with us?
Yes, are you
Yeah,
hearing
look
me?
like we had a little technical difficulty
Yeah,
earlier, but I'm hearing you okay now.
Flo have a problem in Dominica right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, their
Internet service. Yeah,
internet.
I was asking about some of the issues that farmers are encountering, but I'm listening to Petra, and she's saying the farmers have a problem, they just need to plant.
Yes, and the thing is that what I always say, you cannot be a farmer and depending on the government to give you to do things for you. That is going to be a no-no. Farmers must take their business in their hands. That is something I've been preaching for the longest way. It is your business. It is taking care of your family. It is taking care of it is your livelihood. Then why would you depend on someone to take care of your livelihood for you? If for instance you you want to set up an organization and you want the government to run the organization for you, to run the association for you. You have to run your own association. And one of the things that I see we need to do in Dominica is begin to plan our planting so we can have stuff year round. Even on
Mhm.
our small, well, we are not a big dashing planter. I have an acre of land and we are planting dashing. But no, my wife is the one she's the supervisor on the farm. And what she's doing is every month or every 2 months, she plants, let's say, a 500 trees of dashing. And we have had dashing for the entire year up to now.
Mhm.
So and this is something I want to drive into the head of the farmers, that we cannot have people establishing market for us and then we do not have the production. That is really not good business. So if all and also we have to demarcate the areas that are doing well. In Dominica, everybody plant everywhere. Well, dashing is doing well. You focus on that. Plantain, you focus on that. Cassava, you focus on that. So you have to begin to teach farmers how to manage their planting and plant what you know that you are strong in. If you know you can grow seasoning pepper, because each plant have a way that you have to grow it. And when we were growing up, we'd hear parents say, a plant doesn't go in somebody's hand.
Right.
And it's true. When I was used to be in extension, that fellas are plant bananas, still bananas finish, and they never make money in banana. Because, yeah. Every time they plant a banana, it would be a 600 bunch, a 400 bunch, a 300 bunch. So it means that They do not have the know-how, and the banana tree is not in love with them because the
Hmm.
plant have to be in love with you. One of those days I went to my farm and I was walking in the farm and I heard a voice said to me, "Love your plants. Make love with your plants. Just be." So every time you are in the farm and you are there with the farm feels that there is an energy around it, and that helps the farm also to bloom and to grow and to remain healthy. So this is what we have to do. We have to plan the way we plant. And if we come to that, we'll be able to have production at all time. And the other thing that we have to do is to also add value. So now Dominica, is a place where you are small farmers. So we have to come together and work together. So all the dashing farmers come together, and then we teach them and we help them how to plan their plant. All the other farmers come together. All the agro processors come together. So when Petra say, I need 5,000 pounds of that, 7,000 pounds of dashing, she ain't got to scratch her head. She know where she's going to get 7,000 pounds of dashing. And with that, your price will have to fluctuate. You have one price and you keep to that, and you know well you are producing. Because some people believe is because you're selling expensive, they make money. When you're selling expensive, you are not making money. What makes money is production.
And
The
consistency.
more you
Yeah.
have. And
Hmm.
if you can sell 500 pounds of dashing every 5,000 pounds of dashing every week or every fortnight, and you can sell it at $2 or even at $1.50. You know the amount of money you're making?
Right. So
Okay.
there's that education aspect
Yes.
that you talk. Education, organization,
Yeah.
and strategy. So
Yes.
so Petra, you've been fighting with that for, because I imagine this is not the first time you have that headache, that you're looking for produce and you cannot find it. Do you have like some regular farmers who are starting to understand the process? Are you seeing that?
I will tell you what I see. You speak to the farmers. Like Mr. Bani said, first of all, farmers are not running farming like businesses. They
Mm,
do it like it's something you like to do. Like it can make it $2 for you. So you just go ahead and do it because you need a quick $2. So you do it. But farming have to be like a business. And if we regard farming as a business, then we will create a strategy as to how to keep having that same product all year round. And not just plant when everybody planting dashing at the same time. So then harvest at the same time and it have a lot of waste. Because when you fluctuate of all that dashing at the same time, it does not increase the consumption of the dashing because people consume at a certain rate.
mm-hmm.
Just because you produce more doesn't mean people consume more. But if you produce consistently, you will always get good sale because the people consume consistently.
Right.
So is a understanding. I think farmers have to come back to the basic. They tell you, oh, my great grandfather used to do it that day. That was then. Your great grandfather used to do it then because Dexia was the one alone buying from the farmers. So Dexia was taken from the farmers or whatever the name was at that time. DBMC. Is DBMC?
The BMC was
They
bananas,
were
yeah.
taking out the
Mm.
farmers and they did everything else. So all you had to do is just bring for them and that was it. But now you have different people all over the place you have hucksters also doing that to other islands as well. So you have to look at it differently. So it's a challenge, like I said, but it starts with, I know the farmers tell me all the time, oh, we don't have a market. You cannot, I try to tell them, you cannot plant what you like. You have to plant what is in demand. Because just because you like something, that doesn't make it in demand. So if you plant tomatoes and you don't have consumers for the tomatoes, then you're going to say, oh, I plant tomatoes and it didn't sell. It's a waste of money because you didn't do a proper research.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When you're planting, you have to do research. Like I have to tell you what is the demand in St. Croix so that you can know what to work with.
Right.
Somebody have to tell you what is demand in St. Martin so that you can know what to work with. And then when you put all the data together, you will say to myself, okay, Dashing has a high demand in every Caribbean country that we export. Let us plant more dashing. Let us invest more in dashing. Let us do it year round. Cucumbers have a demand, but not as much as peppers. So, and then you distribute to farmers, as Mr. Barney say, in the areas where the soil and the condition, the weather condition is very good for whatever that you want to export. And
Right.
and and you bring the farmers together. And that is the challenge I have because now I have to call, try to get everybody. I asking, do you know somebody that have dashing? Try to get the numbers of liquor farmers to see if the liquor farmers can, tell me how
And
much
one fuller
they
bag,
have.
huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
which make no sense to me because I don't have the time to do all that. I have one key person in Dominica who you drop it off to them and they take care of everything for me because if I have to go all over the place taking 500 here, 500 there, and then I'll not be too sure. Remember, I have to use transportation and it's the airplane. You pay the airplane before the airplane come to Dominica. So
Right.
and so you have to be able to say to yourself, yes, I get that 7,000 pounds if I bring down that airplane. If I get five there, and when at the end of the week I realize, hey, I only got 4,500 pounds. I have to cancel everything because I cannot let the plane run empty. So
So,
it's a great challenge.
there seems to be a lot of challenges, but that seems to point to a lot of opportunities.
Yeah,
Because I'm listening to you and I'm seeing a business for a young person, or not so young, whoever has the ability to get an information system where farmers can register what they have. I have plantain, I have bananas, I have dashing, I have pineapple. I expect it's going to get harvest by such and such a time. They might not be able to tell you how much they expect to get, but over time they will. Or somebody can
yeah,
go visit the farm and say, it's an acre of pineapple, an acre of pineapple produces so many pounds. It seems as though there there is room for somebody, if you know somebody, I mean I'm talking to the audience, you know somebody who has the ability to write an app or to do some software programming that might be able to coordinate that so that Petra doesn't have to have somebody run around the island. She can call one person and say, look at your list and see, you know, or at the very least, that person might have the phone numbers for all the farmers and call on your behalf. It looks like there's room for that. But Adrian, I know you talk about not depending on the government for everything, but if we're going to get farming and agriculture, when I say farming, I want to include agro processing, all of that as well, to be again a major dynamo in the economy. What role does the government have, or even the college or institutions, let's say, I don't know, what role do they have in trying, or what efforts do you see in trying to get agriculture more organized, the way that we need to have it organized to succeed?
Well, the thing is that I know that they have tried in the past, but the thing is that people have lost confidence in that. Well, as for Dexia, since you tell us about Dexia, it's like you turn the farmer off. I don't know why, honestly speaking, because of the reputation that they have created in the farming industry. Then the government's supposed to create the environment in the area of if they have land, they give land to lease and they build feeder roads because people must have roads to have good quality. If you have a farm in the mountain and your road is bad, you load your transport with whatever you have, and the road is bad, you're going to get poor quality. So the government is the one that have to create the enabling environment in order for the farmer to have the quality that he desires and the quality that the market needs. Because you cannot sell to market and you haven't got quality. It's quality that keeps the market.
Mm-hmm.
And I find Petra has a very good system. Her system is she designed a very good system, and that system is she have someone that you can take the produce to, and that's what it is about marketing. You bring it to him, he takes it from you, and he organize it. So you, as the farmer, you are not to go and try to sell or
Mm-hmm.
go out there and run around and try to sell. The
Mm-hmm.
system is already there. What we need to do now is to work with her, because that's what the value chain is all about: production to from farm to table. And farm to table includes production, marketing, and then you bring it on the table, and you can keep it on the table year round, and not just year round. You can keep it 2 years, 3 years, because there are some fruit plants you can process, some fruit you can process, and they can stay for 2, 3 years.
Increase the shelf life.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm talking about, the farming community is supposed to become a private sector operation rather than a government operation. And then you just follow what they say and you just work with them. And because I am setting up a real good system. Today I was talking with a lady from the college, and she's a grant writer, and she's now what they are doing now in the OECS and the Caribbean. The days only they know that they have lost their way through, so they try now to see how they can go into climate smart farming. They can go into, and they think, well, it can just happen overnight. It can happen overnight. This thing will take time, and so I have gotten how many consultants come to me this week and approach me, and they like the system that I have. They like this, and somebody introduced them to me, and they are coming. We sitting down and I'm giving them all the challenges. I'm showing them what we can do to improve. Now you talk about the app is a good thing, and today I was discussing with her that one of the things that we need to develop is an app, and that app will take you from planting. So you plant, the app register, and the app now program the application of inputs, what kind of inputs. So when you're ready to apply inputs, the app give you an alert. All right, give you an alert at least a week in advance to know, well, leading to that date it's time to apply. Then the app, when you're ready to harvest, the app gives you an alert again for harvesting. And then taking it up to another level where the app now will be able to you develop into do a market research way. So I can sit in Castle Bruce, send that app out to Sencroy, and Sencroy is doing the market research of what the market really need,
Yeah.
and
Petra.
what
I
is
mean, Petra, you send the app would notify
right,
Petra that you
or
have
what
a
the market
harvest coming up in
consumes.
2 months or whatever
Right,
it is. Yeah.
right. What the market consumes the most, and what the people love from Dominica on the market. And with that, she put her price, and it comes back to you, and you know, well, the app tells you what amount of produce that she needs in the next month, and the second month, and the third month, and the fourth month. So it comes back now. So it will go to the farmers that plant, and the farmers now will register. You'll be able to register on the app your harvest schedule, and to know how each farmer what they're going to harvest for that schedule.
Yeah. All right. So I'm
So I,
going to take a. Go ahead.
so I before you talk, I put them on to you. I say, well, we need to have a meeting with you, so I know you have developed an app before, so we can see how we can work it out.
Yeah, I did. I was heavily involved in creating
Yeah.
a program that we called Agriculture Information
Right. I was trying to get the
Systems,
name.
right? AIMS, Agriculture Information Management Systems.
Right.
We programmed that in 1999. How long ago? I don't know how old Petra was in 1999, but we did that in
Agricultural
1999.
management.
Agriculture Information Management
Information
System.
management system.
Um,
Ames.
Ames,
information.
and I had a business on Federation Drive that we used to do technology stuff, and like good friend Cedric Pemberton was our main programmer. The producer of this show, Sam Judge, was part of the crew, and people like Calvin Patrick and so on. We
So
we
we can redevelop it
we
and
of course,
modify it.
and now we have a lot more
More
Yeah.
technology
available.
and stuff available to do it, and we are doing it. The Ministry of Agriculture, believe it or not, through its prime unit, that commissioned us to do it. And then you know what happened in 2000? The Labour Party came into power, and the first thing that they did was to suspend all ongoing projects, and some projects never got restarted.
So they do like
Um,
Trump.
yeah, I mean, right now the people are in government are completely different set of people, so we cannot necessarily blame them. But it's been a while. It's been almost 30 years, and at that time we had an application that was fully design, and we were in the process of starting to test it. But anyway, I I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want Miss Carbon to this George. The husband going to get upset with me for not saying George and saying Carbon all the time, but um, Miss George, I want you to describe your business for the audience in detail. Let them know what you do and how they can contact you, and so on. All right. So let's take a quick break away from our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue this conversation on marketing. How do we get produce out of Dominica, which is supposed to be the breadbasket of the Eastern Caribbean? How do we get the produce out of Dominica and into the hands of the people who love Dominican products? We'll be right back. Maybe the producers, this will give us a pass.
Presented by. People say I've got a great smile. Well, I have to say, this is all thanks to the professional team at Beacon Dental Group right here in Dorchester, Massachusetts. I've got world-class dental care. Beacon Dental Group has expert and caring staff dedicated to providing the most advanced and satisfactory treatment in all aspects of oral health. Their services are designed to meet your needs and give you a perfect smile, too. General checkups, cosmetic surgery, Gemini laser service, and advanced procedures, all in a state-of-the-art facility. Call or visit Beacon Dental Group today, 1026 Blue Hill Avenue, Dorchester, Massachusetts, or call 617-282-2146 for a smile that lights the world.
Oh, we're back. Ah, catch me in a really relaxed mode. But listeners, welcome back. I hope thank you for staying with us through the break. I hope that you're enjoying this conversation as much as right now it is showing where we are. It is uncovering so many opportunities to get Dominican produce out of Dominican into the hands of consumers. And what can we do to make sure that we can develop our agriculture in Dominica to be past the subsistence farming stage and into the agro business stage? How can we grow a set of farmers that now can go into business into this very lucrative uh, industry? Not only is it lucrative, it is crucial. All of us eat, so it's a business that doesn't follow style and fashion. We always have to eat. And so if we can encourage our people to go back into agriculture, or let's reinvent agriculture. Let us look at what people like Adrian is doing, and see how we can repeat that across the island. The fact about Dominica is like a little lab because it's so small, and it's so easy to get from one place to another, to get from point A to point B, that it makes it easy to duplicate and to replicate and to scale. And if you identify an issue, it's easy to pivot. You know, you not we should be able to cut out much of the red tape and just do what we have to do. But one of my guests tonight is Miss Petra Carbon George, and she was on the program before, I think maybe a year, 2 years ago, maybe, I think, where she was into this business of bringing of airlifting produce from Dominica into the Virgin Islands, and she's been able to keep her business going and grow it, and she's still doing it and looking to expand. So I'm going to give her the opportunity to tell you about what she does, and to tell her how you can do business with her. Okay, so Petro, go ahead and let's what's the name of your business? You can start right there and tell us what you do.
Okay, so my name of my business is George Shipping Services and Things LLC. What I do, I transport cargo from St. Croix to Dominica, personal effects, anything that needs to ship out of St. Croix that's not too heavy to go on the plane, because it's by weight. And sometimes I use the container as well, the from Tropical, to
Oh,
ship
that's
out the
lovely.
heavier stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and then I take produce from Dominica to St. Croix to the supermarkets. So that's what I do now. I also was trying to expand the market to Florida. As you may know, that we're trying to have a plane that comes directly to Dominica from Miami. We were supposed to start in July. We're still trying to put stuff together to see if we can keep that deadline. But that is what we're trying to do. I'm trying to get as much as I can the stuff that Dominicans produce to the foreign lands to help with the economy. And there is people say, but why you want to stress yourself about that? Like you have a 8 to 5 job. Like you don't need to do that. But I love to do it. I love doing it. I love to know that I can contribute to my people without having to ask them asking me for things. I can contribute in a different way. I go out there, I make the connections, I tell them what is needed. They put the act together, they tell me their pricing, I bring it back to the people, I negotiate for them, and then I tell them, okay, yes, they say they'll think it or it's too expensive or whatever, and get our stuff out of Dominica. A supermarket in St. Croix just asked me 2 weeks ago. They have been having the agricultural produce for a while, like 3 years now, and they just asked me, can you get some other stuff for us, like cocoa sticks and castor oil and
Mhm, mhm.
coconut oil and your other goodies that you have there, because they tasted from somebody that brought it up and they was like, oh, this is good, we should get that in the market. And then if people on Facebook see me, they'll see me put out a flyer if you want to expand your value added products to St. Croix, to give me a call. So my number is 340-423-7502. You can WhatsApp me anytime, but my phone goes on silent at 8 o'clock. So if you call after 8 o'clock, you won't get me. And it reopens at 7 in the morning. So, but you could leave a message, and when I wake, I will see the message. I'll get back to you during the course of the day. But
So
I
340-423.
423-7502. I really think there is a good, good market for us out there in the Virgin Islands for our value added products, because our stuff is so pure. Like we don't have all that contamination of like chemicals as yet in our stuff. And people love it. People love our stuff. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring it. But as Mr. Bani say, we need to come together and we need to have one price. Because for the castor oil, for example, some person will sell the castor oil, the 750 ml bottle. They sell it for $80. Somebody else sell it for $200.
Mm.
So you see the vast difference in pricing.
Right, right,
When you
right.
go to the supermarket, you cannot give them that range of pricing. You have to give them one consistent price, because they're not going to buy this week from you $80 and then 2 weeks time buy it 120. Because when they put it on the shelf, they have to put their markup on it, and that's the price that's in the system until, so they need consistency in price. So that's another thing I think Mr. Barnes have been trying to get the people to understand. to work in the management program, teach people how to price their goods, how to do operational costs, how to reach out your profit, so that at least when we ship out of Dominica, everybody's consistent on the price. So that's what I do, and that's what I love to do. And I'm trying to get our stuff to Florida. But as you can see, what I was trying to push to Florida is the dashing, and the people take 15 to 20 tons of dashing every week.
Wow.
So we cannot produce that as yet in Dominica. So I don't want to start it, and like these people, when they open the doors for you, they expect you to do it.
To step
So I'll
up.
be
Yes.
speaking with people at the back, trying to see what we can get, and they love our dashing, they love for it to come. But can you maintain that type of every week? Can you bring that up for us every week from Dominica?
How many
And
pounds?
like 10,000, 20,000 pounds, because remember the people have 35 supermarket, one name supermarket, that's just in Miami. They have, I think, about 40 something supermarket. But they
Well,
don't buy, like I say, they buy from Santo Domingo,
Mm.
and they use the sea. So you see, I want to use the plane because it brings the produce fresher and have more value life when it comes like that. So the shelf life extends, and it's fresher for the people to buy it. So that is a lot, and we're not ready. Yes, if I go get the market, which I'm trying to, but then we can't sustain the market. We are not ready to sustain that
well,
size of marketing that is out there.
well, listen. I'm going to have a meeting, executive meeting with my organization, and this is something we can sit down and talk about and see how we can get our farmers, especially in the dashing areas.
Yes, because it
And
does well.
also, would you like to get process dashing?
They also want processed things. So that, like I say, is introduction. We introduce the stuff to them. They want anything from Dominica,
So
but
because
what they want, consistent pricing.
yeah,
They
yeah,
want to sample the product as well. Some people don't have samples. They say you just buy it. The
yeah,
people don't work like that. You need to have
yeah,
samples
yeah.
for the people, but
You
they need
must
to
have
see
something.
what they get in. So we need to train our people in Dominica as to what the market requires. Like when you're an entrepreneur and you have your value added products, you should do small amounts for to give to new
Something.
customers, for testing, and not always have you what though you want to sell the value or the size you want to sell all the time, because they require those stuff. Some people, look, I just brought some coffee from a cafe, Cafe La Ville from
Yes.
Dominica. He sent me some samples. I brought it to the supermarket. um I have to get back to them because you have to be consistently calling them, because sometimes they take the stuff and they place it somewhere and they never think about you because they have a lot of things to do. So you have to be there consistently checking up on them. So I do that for free for my people in Dominica. I don't
Hmm.
charge them for
Hmm.
anything. I do the flyers for them. I do everything for free. I market for them for free. And when they get the sale, I don't get no cut out of it. I ask for absolutely nothing. All I want to know is that our stuff are on the shelves. People can recognize our stuff, and by recognizing it, we can expand. And the people in Dominica can also expand too, because today they might be able to do 20 bottles, but in the next year, they should be able to do 20 cases.
Right.
So that is
So
what I want to get done. That's
so
all I want.
listen to me, because remember I have a five-fold responsibility there right now. I am a agro processor. I am a farmer. I am a consultant. Agro business consultant. I am also a pastor. So
And you left the most important one, your husband and the father.
I know no, not even possible. I commit to it. Don't think I'm a family man. All right. So I want to ensure that I get farmers to understand that there are market opportunities, and we need to take advantage of the market opportunity. So we need to come together because I alone cannot do it. The brother one and the corner cannot do it. The sister one I can. We need to come together now and develop a production marketing plan. That's what we have to come together for. Together. And then we as Akairi, we are the organization on the ground that work with the farmers. We have to do now is to put everything together and meet together. So one of the things that I will have to try to do with you, Petra, is to have a meeting with you on Zoom when I go.
I don't worry. I'll be Dominica in July, and
Okay.
I want to have a one-on-one meeting. I don't like Zoom meeting for this personal stuff. I like to speak to people face to face. I think it comes out better. I see people body reaction. I tend to read them as to, and I can see what they're thinking when they're nearby than rather than Zoom. Zoom for me is after the fact. If
You
it's following up or whatever. But
at
I'll
the
be
end
in
of
Dominica in July. I will send you my dates when I'm coming in.
yeah, because at
And
the end of July I travel closer to the end of July.
I come in before the end. I'll be
All
in the
right.
middle. I'll be there in
All
the middle so that we can put something together and
right.
invite some of the farmers in different areas and probably go around the country to see make free stops and speak with the farmers in different areas to get the idea as where produce what and what time, what season the crops come over so that I can have something better to go back to the people and say, hey guys, this is
Right.
what we have in Dominica. This is the time that we have it. And so then I myself can source from somewhere else when we have low time in Dominica so that
Right.
the supermarkets are always, they have the consistency that they're looking for. And as we develop consistency in Dominica to have year-round products, um, produce and agro products to the
So
market, to the supermarkets that trying to have our stuff in St. Croix and in Florida by extension.
Yeah.
so we
Yeah.
will also look at things like frozen dashing. Like right now, what I'm doing, I'm doing some experiment in my lab. So I'm doing small portions. So I did number one, I did some um, vacuum seal papaya. And I'm going to see if I can introduce that to the local market. So I vacuum seal the papaya and then I put it in the freezer to see how well it lasts in a long time. So if this is something that you can also explore, what I have to do is to give it a label, send it for you. When you come down, let you go up with a couple packs.
What happens when you thaw it out after it's frozen when you thaw it out?
You go eat it in small packages, so you
You're
just
talking about green pepper, not
green
right.
pepper, green
Yes,
pepper,
green
Okay.
papaya. And
Green
green
pepper.
pepper.
when you do it like that, what I
And you just put
realized, because I don't use a sealer, I usually just you just cut them and put them in a plastic bag, put them in the freezer because you don't want it to waste. When you're cooking it, I think we just need to put instruction there. When you have these things, when you put the water to boil first, so the water must be bubbling
yeah,
before
yeah, 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 yeah.
you can put it in cold water because then it will just fall apart. So
Hmm.
the water has to be extremely hot. So as soon as you put it in, it just steam.
Right.
It just steam. So you don't overboil or you don't overboil it.
Right.
Over. So
So
yes.
so what I'm understanding from this conversation is that is the same thing we talk about, how do we get agriculture to be looked at as a business, an organized, long lasting, durable business. So that somebody says, I'm going into agriculture, I would like to make $50,000 a year. What produce am I producing? And how many units I have to produce at what price? And what do I estimate to my operating cost? So when I subtract what I make from what I know what my profit is. Because that will take care of our fluctuation in
Of
price, that
course.
will take care
Yeah.
of our
Right,
having
right.
produce on a consistent basis and that sort of thing. So I know Adrian, he does training on his farm. And I know he establishing a relationship with the agricultural program at the college. One of the biggest criticisms we hear of our education program is that we send kids to school and we teach them maths, English, history, science, but we don't give them skills that
Mm-hmm.
support what we're trying to achieve in the country. So if we bring in down cars that electric cars, are we training mechanics that can fix electric cars?
Exactly.
That's the other thing. So if we're going into agriculture and we're going to go into agriculture as a business,
Take
are we training people at the college to in
tissue paper.
marketing? Are we training them in husbandry? Are we training them in all of those different aspects?
Management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the industry is not only farmers and farmers who are doing produce, it's also all of these people like you, people like me, even like in the media. And I say like me, the media who is going to visit a farm or get information
White.
about agriculture so you can have something to talk to your to bring to your audience.
And
Including
not
me.
before you go, not even only that as well, like I see agriculture as a family business because, we see in our communities that men are the mostly men that are doing the agricultural lifting and the heavy thing on the farm. And then they may have a girlfriend or a wife at home, but they're not really doing nothing in the terms of that. And so we need to bring the families on board and show them how they can incorporate their children and their wife or their husbands, however it is, to make it a family business.
Right.
Teach them how to run it as a business. So if your wife is strong in maths and English, and then she does the bookkeeping. So you on track of how much money you spend. You don't just buy thing, go buy the shop and just buy fertilizer and go in when you don't know how much money, you cannot remember 2 months how much you spent for it last month, because you did not record it or whatever. So
Hmm.
you have to have it as a business so that you could keep proper records, because without proper records you won't be able to know if it was profitable or not. So this is something I think that we should also bring to the table for the farmers to incorporate the family or the children or the wife or how, so that they make it a family business, and we show them how to get it done. And another thing I tell people is corporations. Corporations are so effective because, one, when you have a corporation, you can send for your inputs duty free for farmers that are part of that organization, and so that everybody don't have to send for it by piece, because if you large sell by in large quantity, you get a smaller unit price.
Hmm. You get
So
yeah.
we have to
Sales.
come together. We have to understand that unity is key, and we are not fighting each other. You'll hear somebody, me, I don't working with this one because I don't want my to mingle my business. There's nothing about mingling your business. It's coming together so that you could have cheaper operational costs.
Yeah, and
And make
also to strengthen that point, Petra, it means that if you have 5 or 6 farmers coming together, they can have one place where they have water
exactly,
and something where they can do the packaging, and so
exactly.
they reduce the cost of that because everybody doesn't have their own packing station. But more importantly, you get a more consistent quality
That's
if you
right.
have people doing their stuff at one shared and common location. So there's a lot to do. It's exciting because there's a lot to do. We just have to really sit down and plan and try to figure out what's the best approach. Who what are the resources? Who are the people that we can collaborate with? Because I could easily see from what I'm hearing from you, Adrian, and from Petra, is that the markets are there. Can you imagine? We have people that are looking to buy 10,000 pounds of dashing from us is a week, and so that's tens of thousands of dollars that's available in a time when people are struggling for work. The biggest employer is NEP. Um, it could really, really make a difference. And so I am very encouraged. I look forward to the two of you and whoever else that's available, seeing how you can collaborate. The idea of the cooperative is a great is a great
Passionate.
is a great opportunity. And so what do I say? Petra, I hope you get your 7,000 pounds of dashing. Yeah, you have until Friday.
Yeah, I have until tomorrow is Thursday until Friday to make sure that I get this for at least Monday because the farmers have to pick it, they have to clean it, and they have to dip it in a solution, and then it have to dry.
Mhm.
So I hope I can get that 7,000 pound of dashing for my customers because they are relying on it. I just went to the supermarket today, and he's like, "Our dashing coming up on Friday." I said no, I cannot get it on Friday. I tried to put it for Tuesday to see if I can source all the dashing. So people are waiting, the
Right.
customers are asking, the supermarket owners are asking, and our food is just good. So wherever we go, wherever we bring our food, we people enjoy our
We
food,
appreciate it.
and they appreciate it. And so it's left to those in Dominica to do their parts, because a partnership is everybody have to do their part.
Mhm, mhm.
And it's a great partnership, um for that especially. I really enjoy doing it. I love eating my produce away from home. It gives me pleasure to just go in the supermarket and they say, use the girl, let us bring the thing from Dominica there.
Right?
And like, yeah, she good, good, good. The dashing was good. I bought it and I had to come back and get another one
More,
because it
right.
was very good. So we have less waste. That's one of the positive the pros of our produce that the supermarket owners told me about. They have less waste because our dashing don't stay long in the stores,
Mhm.
and they don't spoil quickly.
Right.
So they have a good shelf life and they sell very fast. So that's a positive thing for us. So if we
Yeah,
could
we
keep
have the
that going,
advantages. Mhm.
even when I pass, I may not always be there. That's why I open it out to people. I may not always be there. And so I want to introduce it to other people that they too can start small. So we even have new vendors coming in because of it. Look, like little vendors that do the roadside stuff. They send for them 1 box of pepper, they send for 1 box of cucumber to do the hustle from Dominica as well. So it's not only the supermarket, we do have Dominicans here that do the side hustle that I send for stuff for as well. Coconut oil, castor oil, cocoa sticks, cinnamon. Mr. Bannis have to get me my cinnamon and my nutmeg. I waiting on him. So little things like this, they go under the super under the markets on Saturdays, and they sell our produce as well.
Right.
So
What
we
about
do
St.
it
Thomas? Do
well.
you service St. Thomas as well?
Yeah. No, I do St. Croix.
Mhm.
And we have a young lady from St. Joseph who does St. Thomas. She brings up a sell for herself. So
Mm.
that's her livelihood. So every Wednesday she have a market lime in St. Thomas, and she sell our produce. She bring everything, breadfruit, you name it, mangoes, cucumbers, sweet potatoes, she have our bread. I do bring a bread too from Afuawi, and listen to me, that goes very fast.
I can imagine.
As soon as the bread come is finished, because people asking for our bread because our bread have a different taste and they
Hmm.
love it.
Hmm.
So I try to bring everything up to St. Croix to help somebody in Dominica that have a small business. So, and I love what I do. I enjoy doing it. And and I hope that we can strengthen our relationships and that we can increase in the amount that we export to Sankore.
I'm letting you know that I'm really looking forward to the July shipment to the US. I hope it happens.
Yes, I
We're
listen.
looking to bring some produce, and we'll talk about how we get it from Florida to New York. But we've made some inquiries to get, and so when I heard you were bringing stuff to the US, I was really excited.
Yeah,
So let's see how that works out.
yeah. I really want it to work out because I'm telling you, the market there is vast
Hmm.
and the people buy in large quantity. And if we can just penetrate that market, I'm telling you, our economy in Dominica will change. People will
Definitely.
have a lot of spending money. They'll be less reliant on the government. They'll be more independent. And so they will have better lives because people make better decisions when they are financially stable.
Yeah, the worst time you can make a decision is when you're broke.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because you will take anything that you get. So
Desperation.
yeah, so
All
I
right.
hope my people are listening, and I hope they are willing to be part of it. And let's join together with Mr. Banis. He's doing something great out there in Castibers. And let's put our heads together and see how we can expand it as a people because the market is there.
Oh, certainly. So, Adrian, I guess we're wrapping it up. what I know we spoke in general about marketing, but where are the opportunities? Where is the optimism? I know you have a relationship with the college. I know a lot of people come to you for advice. Not only in Dominica, but when you travel, you also see what people are doing in the other islands as well. What do you think is the path forward to improve the marketing aspect of our agriculture?
Well, the path forward is to get the farmers organize and do and develop a production planning system.
Hmm.
And I'm tied up with that app. So this is our the lady at the college today. We had a chat. We spoke for about over 3 hours,
Hmm.
and I was just sharing, all the different things with her. And she imagine the end. She told me she wants to start a climate smart climate smart agriculture at the college, and she will be on my back in September. I told her, well, I love people to be on my back because that tells me that you are hungry. So I am also hungry to see, so we'll work together.
Hmm.
So she's a grant writer. So she was trying to get all the different information so she can write a grant and put certain component in the grant so we can work with the farmers and help the farmers. Now they are only talking about climate smart farming, but they don't know what they're talking about. I told her you can't talk about climate smart farming in your mouth on the radio and on the television and on the ground. And you are not taking a bottom top approach, you're taking a top bottom approach. OECS came in the Caribbean, came to Dominica 2 weeks back, and they said that they come in and have a root crop symposium. And in the root crop, and they went at Kempinski. I said, I'm not going there, I'm not going down there. I didn't go. I said, I'm not going there. Because I said, having that root crop symposium, you should have that.
It should be on Bannis Farms.
Not there, but 30 years ago, you should have that already. Now you are going to be scrambling to plan how you're going to put things together for food security. Food security, if it's that you have to do, and they're calling it 25 in 5 in food, 25 in 5 in 40. So
What's that?
they say, well, they want to cut their import bill by 25% in 25, and 25 gone already. So I tell them, well, if 25 gone already, you have to talk about 30. They are not talking about 30. So now they're just doing things. And the
Yeah,
worst
they,
thing
they
is,
get, they get somebody got a grant and they have to spend the money, so they're spending the
so
money
the worst
to
thing
have a meeting.
is to try to do something in a hurry. You're going to end up having nothing. So they had it, and they bring a lot of technocrats there, Ministry of Agriculture, AICA, all the different things. And they hardly brought a farmer that is involved in the production line. It's the farmers you have to bring.
Hmm. Hmm.
They are the ones who need the knowledge and share the experiences. Anyway, we are still moving on
Hmm.
our organization, and we are so she was saying to me that she wants to write in the grant writing. She wants to put some things together to assist us. And one of the things that we want to do is to certify every farm. Every farm we want to certify. We are not going to certify banana and plantain alone. We want to certify the farm. So
Right.
everything we have on the farm is certified. So when somebody comes to the farm, they come to a certified farm, and they expect products, or it can
Out
be
of that.
added value, it can be fresh produce that is coming out from the farm, must have a certain level, a certain standard, and it meets the quality criteria of wherever you are shipping. Okay, so these are some of the things that we are going to go into now. And then I had another set of people that come from FAO and World Bank and whatever. So they themselves want to put some intervention into what we are doing. And one of the things that I want to encourage the farmers also to do is to go into bees, because bees is going to help you to improve and increase your productivity, your productivity, especially when you are planting tree crops. If you boy, I went on my family, Lord, I don't even want to talk. When I see how my avocados and my oranges are loaded, man. They even burning.
Because you
Some,
have bees on your farm as well, right?
yeah, yeah, at
Okay.
7 hives.
So Petra, soon you're going to get honey from Barney's farms,
So
local.
I get your castle for you, Petra. So
Yes.
I have a little challenge with the spice. Because
Okay, send one.
again, Dominicans, they do things in certain times. So people will say, well, it's not December time, they don't want to cut their spice. But I have some there, at least I can meet the 6 pounds. Is it 20 I have to try to get for you?
Okay. All right. So I think we can leave it there. I really like the conversation. Um, we're
You
having
have to, you have to
challenges.
bring us back again next time, next month.
Yeah. Petra, you muted, I think, because I saw you talking, but I wasn't hearing you. Are you muted, Petra?
Ye-
Yeah. Okay. Now we can hear you.
Yeah.
No, no, I was saying that while Adrian is talking about root crop symposium, Petra is scrambling to get 6,000 pounds of root crop.
Seven, seven,
7,000
7,000.
7,000 pounds of root crop. You know, so but again, I like to look at it on the positive side. Is that that's the opportunity. I know it doesn't help her much
Yes, it's the
in terms
opportunity.
of it does help in how much of what her pain is right now, but it points us in the direction of what can be done and where we should be focusing our energy. And so
And,
I want to say thank you. If you have closing any closing remarks, you can go ahead and do it. Adrian, you want to go first?
and the other thing, Tony, the market opportunities always come when when you have not the produce.
But that
When
is
you
a
have
sign
it,
that we're not organizing properly.
right. And that's the same we do not have the scout motto. Be prepared, be prepared at all times.
At all times. Exactly.
That's
Right.
the
So
motto of the scout.
yeah,
So that
let
is
us
the
work.
approach you have to take. Be prepared at all times.
Yeah.
So you don't planting for when the market for you don't plant and then you wait for the market. You plant to supply the market.
Right. Okay.
So every once the opportunity arises, you can produce, you can supply. What you cannot, I tell people, what you cannot supply, you you add
So,
value to it.
yeah.
You add
Okay.
value to it.
So Petra, all the best. You have one more day.
Yeah.
But you're smiling, so you don't look like you're too worried. So it should be good.
Listen, I take everything. I don't take everything. I take everything and I see, like, I don't always look at the problem. When I see a problem, I look for solution.
Right.
So for me, just having to deal with that problem and we voice it out here, we could, like tonight we give ways that we can avoid that problem for next year. So yes, we have the problem now, but there is something that we should not have next year because now
Next
we
year.
know exactly how we should go around, look for ways that we should go around and that don't happen next year. When we have a larger demand for our outside market.
hmm hmm And to use the technology for it. All right. So thank you very much. Have a great remainder of the week and all the best. Adrian, you as well. Good
Thank
night.
you.
All right. You're welcome. Good night. And thank you so much,
I guess a little bit
as
by
always.
Yes.
Yes, you're
All right.
welcome. And as always, it's really a pleasure being with you all. All you listeners out there, have a blessed night.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
So, folks, there you had it. Another wonderful conversation on our Green Maga series, Make Agriculture Great Again. Make agriculture green again, whichever one we see. One of the biggest issues be having a solution because farmers' biggest issue is, am I going to plant a crop and then I'm not able to sell it? Well, Miss George says the market is actually there. We just need to organize ourselves to be able to supply the market. And so let us see how we can strategize and apply ourselves. And let us see how the numbers are needed. Let us see how we can encourage our people to look seriously at agriculture as a means of making a living, a good living, a lucrative living. Let us see how we can educate them. Let us identify the different trades and careers that are available in the agriculture industry, because anybody who's been to Dominica for a day would realize that in agriculture, Dominica definitely has a relative advantage. And so I want to say good night to you and thank you for staying with us through the hour and 20 minutes. And enjoy the rest of your week. And we'll do this again next week, Wednesday, on another episode of This Week in Interview. Good night, everyone.